Hello and welcome. You're watching the Dove Jewish News channel. My name is Michael Ilan, and my guest today is lawyer Ilan, the initiator of the security barrier in Judea and Samaria. Ilan, great to have you.
Nice to meet you as well.
Ilan, so my first question to you will be the following. You were the person who started talking about separating between Israel and Judea and Samaria, building a barrier that would prevent terrorist attacks from Judea and Samaria going into Israel. Right now, we're living through a phase where we see the horrible war in Gaza, horrible attacks from Gaza on Israel, as we saw on the 7th of October. And my question to you is it possible to build any kind of barrier, first of all, between Israel and Gaza, that will protect Israel from attacks from Gaza? And if it's not possible, what's the reason for that?
Well, it's very simple. The question is not right. There is no connection between the question of the barrier and the question of holding the area. We should have not withdrawn from Gaza. We should have stayed there. In 2005, this was the big mistake. And the idea that the fence can hold, and against these terror attacks from Gaza, of course, is wrong. And the same case is in Judea and Samaria. The security fence doesn't mean that we don't have to stay there and to control the area. We need to control every area which there are Palestinians living there, which is not a country. Why? Because Palestinians are not willing to and are not satisfied with the small area they get. They want to build their country in Tel Aviv. They want to eliminate us. Okay, destroy us. So, in order to us to survive, we have to control their areas. So there is no connection between the barriers, which defend against terror attacks, and holding the area.
So you're saying we cannot basically hide behind barriers. We also need to have military presence.
Yeah, that's right.
And a barrier is just another element of the defense. Am I correct?
That's right, yeah.
Okay. And what about building, right now we have a big problem with Gaza, right? That the weapons that flow into Gaza, that Hamas terrorists fight the IDF with, they come through Egypt's territory into Gaza. And many people are talking about the idea of Israel conquering the so-called Philadelphia axis, which separates between Gaza and Egypt, and building there a barrier that would prevent Egypt from smuggling weapons from Egypt into Gaza. Do you think that's feasible? Is that possible?
No, I don't think so. I think we should have conquered Philadelphia axis in the October 8th, and in that way just besieging the area of Gaza, and then conquering the area of Gaza in order to control it, to hold it. We have to hold it forever, and when we go out of there, this is when we are doomed. We have to understand that it's not. We'll see it in the future that we'll have to go back to Gaza again and again. We'll have to sacrifice soldiers again and again. This is the stupidity. We need to take the area once, okay? Pay the price once, and then be sure that there is no even one missile there, no even one Hamas soldier there. This is needed, okay? And if we don't do that, we are doomed, as I said. So this is what should be done now.
So in some sense, we can compare between Judea and Samaria and Gaza, in the sense that we cannot only, think that we have a border wall or some kind of fence and just be quiet and safe in our houses. We also need military presence plus barrier, right?
That's right.
This is their formula.
That's exactly what I'm saying. And the idea of the disengagement, yes, in 2005, going out of Gaza, this was the biggest mistake, unbelievable mistake. I was against that at that time. I even tried to meet one of the leaders of the settlers there in order to do something, in order to prevent the disengagement, but it didn't work out. But this was in 2005. We knew it's a grave mistake. In 2005, not in 2023, 24. Okay, so what we have to do is doing exactly the same as we did then. We have to go back and to take the clock back to 2005. And we have to understand that we'll have to do the same thing even in Judea and Samaria, because what happened in Gaza is going to happen to us from this front. Okay.
So Ilan, you were the person who were present in 2005. You remember those times, I suppose, very well, right? And how come Israel disengaged, left Gaza in 2005? Did they not know then that what will happen is Hamas will take over the Gaza Strip and use it as a base to attack Israel? Were we so naive? What really went through people's heads at that time?
Well, I was not naive. I knew that it would happen. The point is that we had a prime minister, Ariel Sharon, which decided to, it's like, I think it's like a little bit like Napoleon. Yes, he wants to do like something, very big. The greatest thing he can do is just evacuate the settlers from Gaza, and then he did something great. Okay, this is the idea of the person, and of course he lost. There was a kind of, let's say, a vote in this party, in the Likud party, and the people in the Likud voted against the disengagement process, but then he just didn't stood for his word and lied. That's what happened. And God also did some kind of maneuvers in order to pass it. Now, the majority of the people are like a herd, okay? They admire the leader, like Ariel Sharon, and they're not thinking for themselves. This is what happened generally, and this is what happening now with Netanyahu. The same thing. He's doing some unbelievable mischiefs, but still people admire him. They say, well, he knows something we don't know. This was the same at that time. Every person who thinks for himself could understand that at that point of time. And this is exactly what's happening now. We have to go back into Gaza. Otherwise, we are on the brink of an Holocaust here. I'm telling you, and I'm not laughing at all. I'm really saying what I'm seeing. What I'm seeing is very clear to me. I'm seeing this Holocaust coming, and I'm speaking about this Holocaust for many years, for more than 20 years. I'm writing about it all the time, but now it's coming in very big steps. Okay. And if we don't stop it, if we don't change our fundamental personalities as a country, we are doomed to this Holocaust. It's not preventable. Just look at the map. If you look at the map, you'll see hundreds of millions of people which are determined to exterminate us. They are just around us. Okay, the whole world is not going to fight our war. It's not going to fight for us. And as I said before, I think they're going to sell us because we are so cowards. I think, in my mind, so weak. So the world really doesn't have any interest in really fighting for us, even though the Western world understands the problem with Islam now, and he sees us as a kind of a front now. Islam against the Judaism, yes, in Israel, like they see it and start to understand that this is a front that will come to them. But still, when they see our weakness, unbelievable weakness, our cowardice, so I think they are really thinking about selling us, as happened to Czechoslovakia in 1938. So unless we change our basic let's say, if we change our basic, understanding of the situation, so I don't see we have any other choice than that can we survive here.
Ilan, so I want to ask you one more question on this topic and then move on to the next topic, right? My question to you will be the following. You just mentioned the fact that Israel is surrounded by hundreds of thousands of people who hate it and want
millions.
Millions of hundreds of millions, right? Yeah, I just wanted to sound more optimistic. But who want to destroy Israel. Can we count on Egypt and Jordan, so our neighbors with whom we have signed a peace agreement, that they will not attack us, or don't you believe in that peace?
Of course, there's no peace with these nations. It's not possible. They are Muslim nations. Everyone who thinks there is a possibility of having peace with this nation, Muslim nation, doesn't understand anything about life and about Islam. He's so naive, it's unbelievable. We don't have any really peace with Egypt or with Jordan. When we really get weaker, they are going to, surely, if they'll attack us. And you can see that the amount of weaponry that was found in Gaza, of course, there is only one explanation to that. This is from Egypt. The Egyptians gave it to them. It's not that these are not these properties are not some kind that you can just sneak in through the tunnels. You need cooperation, full cooperation from the government there. Now, this is an Egyptian interest to destroy and exterminate us. You know, Sadat, the great Sadat, he was a great leader. I really appreciate him. But he said that in 1979, yes, when we signed the peace agreement with Egypt, he said the Israelis, Egypt got Sinai. The Israelis got a piece of paper. And this is what we don't understand about Muslims. Every peace agreement with them is just temporary. It's hudna, as they call it. Okay. All the countries behind us want to exterminate us. Very, very simple. I don't understand what people do not understand. They're trying all the time to convince themselves in some reality which does not exist.
And what about all the Abrahamic Accords countries? What about, you know, the Emirates, the United Arab Emirates, and the other countries?
Of course, all these agreements are temporary agreements. I think that they really, I think they put us in a situation that we believe again in peace. I think the Muslims really like that situation, that we believe in them and they believe in peace. And then we sleep, okay? All the Muslims, even the nicest nations, of course, are enemies. Okay, so even though they now let you just visit, you know, Burj Khalifa, it doesn't say that they're not enemies. Enemies. We think that an enemy is just someone with a rifle that wants to shoot you. No. If it's a Muslim nation, by definition, it's your enemy, and it's the enemy of all. I'm saying all the religions in the world. Everything is temporary here. You have to understand. So all the Muslims which are now staying in Europe or in the United States, of course, are dormant enemies, and they, of course, in the time, will attack. No question about that. Believe me, I'm signing it. You can check me. I don't know. In 50 years, I know if I'll be. Of course, I won't be here, but still, be sure it would happen.
Ilan, thank you very much for your insight on the demographic problem in Europe and in Israel. Everything we just talked about. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you also to all our viewers that saw this amazing interview with Ilan. Please don't forget to subscribe to us on all our social media platforms. Thank you again and have a great day.